Assalamu alaikum guys, this is your teacher Dr. Noor Mohammed and I welcome you in AS level biology lecture series. As it's in your knowledge that we are having a discussion on a very important chapter which is DNA and protein synthesis, and in this particular chapter alhamdulillah we have gone through different important concepts already, but there is a lot more to go. There is a lot more discussion in this chapter. As I have told you from day one of this chapter, that this chapter is quite a lengthy as well as conceptual discussion. Plus, this chapter is this chapter plays a key role when it comes to giving marks in your examination. But after all these bad news, the good news from this chapter is that when you learn this chapter thoroughly and you're very clear about everything, as I'm taking enough time to explain every single topic through my lecture, through my video presentation, then I literally look forward, because exam के अंदर now the questions जो आपको देखोगे आप, those questions will be quite easy for you, because the problem with the easy chapters is that the questions from their topics are asked in a very typical manner. But chapter like this where concept is already so typical, तो वहाँ जो question है वो उतना ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट अप्रोच से नहीं पूछा जाता, बट के जो क्वेश्चन है वो सीधा सीधा पूछा जाता है. बिकॉज अगर जो उतनी टिपिकलिटी ऑलरेडी उसमें होती है कि अगर आप जो है उसको कॉन्सेप्ट आपको सही से याद होगा, तो यू विल बी ईजिली एबल टू रिलेट योर नॉलेज विद द क्वेश्चन एंड विल बी एबल टू आंसर द क्वेश्चन करेक्टफुली. ठीक है ना. तो दैट्स the main thing in this chapter. As you know, in the last lecture we have talked about replication and different types of replications, like conservative replication, semi-conservative replication and dispersive replication. And obviously the most common type of replication is semi-conservative. At the end of the lecture I shown you a video also explaining these concepts again. And now it's time to begin with the most common type of replicative method which is occurring in our body. And obviously you now have a basic idea after learning the semi-conservative replication kya hogi, but exactly the process should be explained well. So today's topic in our class is semi-conservative replication. Okay, we are going to talk about the process of semi-conservative replication. Okay, exactly how this process occurs. As you all know, just to revise one last time, that it is a type of replication of DNA where new strands of DNA are synthesized by using old DNA as a template, and the DNA which are then recombined or recoiled, उसमें each DNA consists of one old piece of DNA and one new piece of DNA. So this was semi-conservative replication, and इसको हम समझेंगे बाय यूजिंग मार्कर्स ऑफ डिफरेंट कलर्स, सो ताकि एक एक चीज़ आपको अच्छे से समझ में आए. तो लेट मी जस्ट फर्स्ट ड्रॉ अ पार्ट ऑफ द डीएनए. ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि डीएनए इज सो लॉन्ग कि पूरा डीएनए एक साथ अनकॉइल नहीं होता है. तो लेट मी जस्ट ड्रॉ अ पोर्शन और पार्ट ऑफ अ डीएनए एंड देन आई विल एक्सप्लेन के होगा क्या. Acha, first thing, that DNA is normally present in this coil form. Obviously this DNA is present in a coil manner, we all know this, and the nitrogenous bases are forming the steps of this ladder. Okay, steps of this ladder. So in order to begin the process, the first thing which is most important here is that this coil or this coiled DNA should be unzipped. Okay? And I've told you that there are a group of enzymes called DNA helicases, and these DNA helicases are going to run through this and that leads to opening of these two strands like this. Separation of these two strands like this. ठीक है जी? And I'm trying to illustrate it very well in diagrams so that everything should be ठीक है. And let's say that these are the sugar phosphate linkages. These are the sugar phosphate linkages, obviously. Okay, that's one strand of DNA, and on the other hand, we already know this, that the sugar molecules are revert like this. Okay, and the bases are like this. So what happens is the activity begins from this discussion जब DNA helicases select the particular part. अच्छा DNA replication कहीं ना कहीं से तो start होगी ना, तो DNA helicases select, identify that particular part and they start doing their helicase activity. They start breaking down that and zipping down that helix. They start breaking down this helix and helix start getting unzipped, and the unzipped helix look like this. And let's imagine quickly the bases here. Let's say this is here we have, let's say, guanine, cytosine, obviously cytosine, guanine, thymine, adenine, guanine and cytosine. ठीक है, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग इमेजिनेशन जो है हम इसको यूज़ कर रहे हैं और आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन एवरी कॉन्सेप्ट एंड आई होप कि आपको दिख रहा होगा. अगर नहीं भी दिख रहा है तो जस्ट आई एम रीडिंग इट. गुआनिन ऑब्वियसली, फिर सामने कौन होगा? साइटोसिन. देन साइटोसिन तो ऑब्वियसली सामने कौन होगा? गुआनिन. थाइमीन है तो ऑब्वियसली सामने कौन होगा? एडेनिन. एंड गुआनिन है तो ऑब्वियसली सामने कौन होगा? साइटोसिन होगा. ठीक है, ये हमारे पास अनजिप्ड स्ट्रैंड है. अब बेटा जैसे ही जो बेसिस हैं ये अनजिप्ड हो जाती हैं या जो स्ट्रैंड है ये अनजिप्ड हो जाता है, तो यू ऑल नो कि बेसिस नीड्स देयर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री बेस पेयर्स. देखो ना, अगर साइटोसिन was bonded to guanine, so that was a stable case. But now we have separated these two bases. अब जब हमने इनको separate कर दिया है तो obviously now they have become unstable or they have become reactive. Chemistry में आप basic पढ़ते हो कि जब bond बनाया हुआ होता है तो that's the condition of stability, और आपने उन bonds को कर दिया है break, तो obviously now these bases have become reactive. Now these bases have become thirsty for their complementary bases because आपने उनकी complementary bases के जो bonds हैं वो तोड़ दिए हैं. कौन से bond तोड़े हैं? यहाँ I should mention DNA helicases breaks hydrogen bonds break कर दिए. अच्छा, now before moving to the next step, I just would like to tell you that what happens is कि when they get separated तो कुछ अब ऐसी कंडीशन, यानी जब अनजिपिंग हो गई है तो let me show you like this. ठीक है, and खुलना शुरू हो गया. एंड एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू कि सारा डीएनए जाहिर है कि ऑब्वियसली एक साथ नहीं खुलेगा, तो इसलिए यू कैन सी हियर दैट ऊपर का डीएनए हो सकता है इट मस्ट बी कनेक्टेड. ठीक है ना, ये आपके पास अनजिपिंग का मैकेनिज्म हो गया है. ठीक है, अनजिपिंग का मैकेनिज्म इसको डायग्राम में आपको नजर आ रहा है. अब जो बात समझाने की ना वो क्या है बेटा कि व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन इन, अच्छा दिस इज इन न्यूक्लियस. सो देयर इज अनदर थिंग व्हिच यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट्स गोइंग ऑन इन न्यूक्लियस, कि जो न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म होता है, द न्यूक्लियो, लेट्स इमेजिन दिस डीएनए इज अनजिपिंग एंड हियर वी हैव न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म. तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म हैज ऑलरेडी गॉट and let's say this is guanine, this is cytosine, guanine, thymine, adenine, and that's showing nucleoplasm. So beta, nucleoplasm already contains free bases. Remember I've told you that these are the free bases जो कि nucleoplasm में होती हैं, and they are in triphosphatic form. They have 3 phosphates. So basically when the DNA is unzipping or it is unzipped at a particular portion, the free bases, the free nucleotides are all were always there in the nucleoplasm. फ्री जो न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स होते हैं ना वो पहले से ही न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म में मौजूद होती हैं, एंड दे आर जस्ट कंटिन्यूसली मूविंग इन द न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म. ये पहले से ही होती हैं, अभी नहीं आई हैं. दे आर प्रेजेंट प्री फॉर्म्ड फॉर्म में मौजूद होती हैं विद इन द न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म, एंड दे आर जस्ट रिवॉल्विंग, दे आर मूविंग रैंडमली विद इन द न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म. न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म के अंदर दे आर डूइंग रैंडम मूवमेंट और जो है ना वो कर रहे होते हैं. अब होता ये है कि एज यू नो दैट यहाँ पर अनजिपिंग हुए guanine, cytosine, thymine, guanine and cytosine, guanine, adenine and cytosine. ठीक है, जाहिर है ये मैंने एग्जाम्पलरी तौर पर जो है फ्यू बेसिस शो किए हैं. तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि एज दीज बेसिस आर ऑलरेडी मूविंग, रैंडमली मूव कर रहे होते हैं, तो जब डीएनए अनजिप होना शुरू हो जाता है तो दे स्टार्ट कोलाइडिंग विद दिस molecule. They start colliding. This process is totally random. I'll show you the video presentation. You will see there कि जो process हो रहा होता है ये random है बिल्कुल. तो अब क्या होता है कि now imagine करो कि ये molecule खुल गया है, unzip हो गया है, and the bases here have now become reactive. Now they are thirsty for their complementary bases. So what happens is that the bases which are the free nucleotides which were already there in the nucleoplasm and already they were moving and randomly here and there in the nucleoplasm, they by random chance, totally by random chance, purely by random chance, they start colliding with these bases. अच्छा, पहले भी कोलाइड कर रहे होंगे, बट पहले क्या था कि डीएनए वाज जिप्ड, द डीएनए वाज जिप्ड एंड द बेसिस इन द डीएनए वर क्वाइट स्टेबल. जब बेसिस इन द डीएनए स्टेबल थी ऑलरेडी, तो देयर वर नो रिस्पॉन्सेज गिवन बाय द डीएनए. बट राइट नाउ द बेसिस आर रिएक्टिव एंड दे आर सर्चिंग फॉर देयर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री बेसिस ऑफ ऑलरेडी, जो है ना, ऑब्वियसली. तो दैट इज व्हाई नाउ व्हेन बाय रैंडम चांस these bases move there and starts colliding. So let's say that let me show this here. इसको मैंने ऐसे शो कर दिया, ठीक है, एंड दीज वर guanine, cytosine, thymine, guanine, and these were cytosine, guanine, adenine, and cytosine. So what I'm saying to you is that now these bases purely by random chance starts colliding with these bases, ठीक है, प्योरली बाय रैंडम चांस, ठीक है ना. तो लेट्स से रैंडमली guanine collides with let's say here, ठीक है, randomly let's say guanine collides here, guanine, this which is small g, I don't know you can you see it or not. So it randomly collides here, and let's say if it randomly collides here, तो this get attached here, ये यहाँ क्या हो जाता है, बॉन्ड हो जाता है. If it collides randomly, क्योंकि आप देखो the base here was thirsty, the base here was quite thirsty for it, और चूंकि थर्स्ट थी तो जैसे ये बेस कोलाइड करती है यहाँ पर जाकर, आई मीन नॉट बेस ओनली, न्यूक्लियोटाइड जैसी जाके कोलाइड करता है बाय रैंडम चांस, व्हाट वी सी कि guanine वहाँ स्टक हो जाता है. इन द वेरी सेम वे लेट्स से कि एडेनिन है, एडेनिन लेट्स से बाय रैंडम चांस यहाँ आ जाता है, एंड इससे कोलाइड कर जाता है. तो एज थाइमीन वाज सर्चिंग फॉर द बेस, इट्स कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री बेस, तो व्हाट वी सी कि एडेनिन यहां ज्वाइन हो जाता है, एडेनिन यहां बॉन्ड बना लेता है. आर यू गेटिंग दिस और नॉट? ठीक है ना, एडेनिन यहां बॉन्ड बना लेता है. लेट्स से जो साइटोसिन है, साइटोसिन रैंडमली यहां कोलाइड करे, तो साइटोसिन क्या करेगा, दिस इज द शुगर फॉस्फेट बॉन्ड, एंड साइटोसिन यहां कोलाइड करे तो ऑब्वियसली साइटोसिन यहां बॉन्ड फॉर्म कर लेगा. तो बाय दिस मैनर, आर यू गेटिंग दिस कॉन्सेप्ट और नॉट? बाय दिस मैनर यू कैन सी दैट फ्री न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स आर बम्बार्डिंग और आर बम्बार्डिंग देमसेल्व्स ऑन द exposed bases now, on the exposed bases, and whenever they are finding the right pair, जाहिर है हर बम्बार्डमेंट सक्सेसफुल नहीं होगी. लेट्स सपोज अगर जो है ना गुआनिन पर आकर यहाँ पर कोई दूसरा गुआनिन या थाइमीन या जो एडेनिन कंटेनिंग न्यूक्लियोटाइड है, अगर वो आके यहाँ पर कोलाइड करेगा तो दैट विल नॉट बी अ बेनिफिशियल कोलिजन. बट बाय रैंडम चांस ग्रेजुअली क्या होगा, you can just imagine, I'll show you that in the video presentation as well, that by random chance when these free nucleotides will keep on bombarding themselves at these exposed bases, तो gradually क्या होगा, they will continue to form bonds with them. ठीक है ना, कंटिन्यूसली क्या होता होगा, बॉन्ड बनते जाएंगे. लेट्स सपोज यहां पर आकर थोड़ी देर में क्या अटैच हो जाएगा, बाय रैंडम चांस ऑब्वियसली गुआनिन अटैच हो जाएगा. यहां पर बाय रैंडम चांस ऑब्वियसली क्या अटैच हो जाएगा, साइटोसिन अटैच हो जाएगा. यहां पर बाय रैंडम चांस ऑब्वियसली क्या अटैच हो जाएगा, थाइमीन अटैच हो जाएगा. यहां पर क्या अटैच हो जाएगा, अगेन साइटोसिन अटैच हो जाएगा, एंड यहां पर ठीक है ना. तो अब क्या हो रहा है, बेसिस अटैच होती जा रही हैं रैंडम कोलिजन्स के जरिए, और वंस पेयरिंग हो जाएगी तो ऑब्वियसली देयर विल बी नो इफेक्टिव कोलिजन. देन यहाँ गुआनिन आके अटैच हो जाएगा, यहाँ साइटोसिन आके अटैच हो जाएगा, यहाँ थाइमीन आके अटैच हो जाएगा, यहाँ साइटोसिन, एंड यहाँ अगेन गुआनिन. सो यू कैन सी हियर दैट gradually what will happen is that slowly and gradually by random chance the exposed bases of the two strands of DNA will ultimately find their correct pairs, and when they find their correct pairs they quickly bond with them, and then when they quickly bond with them तो अब जो इनकी थर्स्ट है वो रुक जाएगी. अब जाहिर है जो इनकी अनस्टेबिलिटी है वो वापस स्टेबिलिटी में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज, यहाँ दैट्स नॉट इनफ. आपको ये आइडिया समझ में आया? दैट्स ड्यू टू, मैं आई शुड शो इट, दैट इज ड्यू टू रैंडम बम्बार्डमेंट ऑफ दीज न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स here, random bombardment of these nucleotides here. ठीक है ना, ये all this bombardment results in this complementary base pairing. Now अभी आपको मालूम है कि ये base pair तो बन गया, but these nucleotides जो कि यहाँ पर आके लगे हैं, these nucleotides are not associated or assembled with each other. अभी ये एक दूसरे के साथ असेंबल्ड नहीं हुए हैं, अगर अभी ये एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़े हुए नहीं है, दे हैव ओनली अटैच्ड देमसेल्व्स टू द कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री बेस. तो सिर्फ इस वक्त हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स आर द बॉन्ड्स व्हिच आर होल्डिंग दीज न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स. सो now it's time to convert these nucleotides individually into strands, and again now the group of enzymes will become activated here, and that enzyme is DNA polymerase. And this is the enzyme responsible to make sugar phosphate bonds. This is the enzyme which is responsible to make, I should write it more clear, sugar phosphate bonds. So what this enzyme does is that this enzyme just sew these all free nucleotides together. This enzyme sew all these nucleotides together, and how the situation looks like now. आई होप कि आपको एक एक चीज़ अच्छे से समझ में आ रही होगी. आई एम वेरी पॉजिटिव अबाउट दिस कि आपको कॉन्सेप्ट जो मैं समझा रहा हूँ वो समझ में आया भी है या नहीं. ओके गाइस, तो ये दीज वर द टू स्ट्रैंड्स, एंड नाउ व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन दैट सो अब तक हमने क्या देखा है, जस्ट लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली राइट. दिस वाज guanine, cytosine, thymine and guanine, and they have found their pairs from the free nucleotides cytosine, guanine, adenine and cytosine. And here we had guanine, cytosine, thiamine and guanine again, जो कि पेयर्ड हुए हैं C, G, A और C से. ब्लैक में आपको जो स्ट्रैंड्स नज़र आ रहे हैं वो हैं ओल्ड स्ट्रैंड्स, एंड रेड में जो स्ट्रैंड आपको दिख रहा है दैट इज अ न्यू स्ट्रैंड. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस, डीएनए पॉलीमरेज क्या करता है, डीएनए पॉलीमरेज जॉइन द शुगर फॉस्फेट बॉन्ड्स ऑफ द न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स टुगेदर. इट जॉइंस द sugar phosphate bonds of the nucleotide like this, in this case here also, and that's how that's how the two strands are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 hydrogen bonds, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And that's how the single strand of DNA, which was this, अगर आप गौर से देखें, has converted to identical two strands, two DNAs. This single DNA molecule has converted now into two DNA molecules which are identical to the parent DNA, and now these two strands of DNA will coil with each other. When these two strands of DNA will coil with each other, you can see clearly that each of the DNA now will contain one old strand and obviously the other new strand. Okay? And that's why we can say here that only the half of the DNA from the parent DNA is conserved. देखो DNA की identical copies बनी है. This was GC, CG, TA and GC. This is again GC, CG, TA and GC. GC, CG, TA and G. So identical copies of daughter cells are formed, daughter DNA is formed by using the parent DNA as a template. You have learned the mechanism, unzipping, exposing of the bases, instability of the bases, bombardment randomly of the bases, and random pairing of the bases. Okay? And finally, when all the space gets filled up, then DNA polymerase stitch the sugar phosphate bond, and this form is created. When this form is created, DNA polymerase, due to activity of DNA polymerase, now they coil with each other, and now two DNA molecules from one DNA is made, and each DNA has now one new strand and other old strand. You can say that each DNA now has one strand from the parent DNA and other from the daughter's DNA, and this is what we call semi-conservative way of replication, because only half of the parent DNA, only one strand of the parent DNA is conserved here. Okay? The new strand, the second strand of the DNA, each DNA is the new one or the daughter strand of the DNA, and that's we call semi-conservative replication. उम्मीद है आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. Just try to draw this diagram as accurate, as clear as possible, and then you will see a video presentation on this topic as well that will give you this idea in an animated version. ठीक है जी? Just draw this and then we'll move forward. ओके बेटा, आप लोगों ने ड्रॉ कर लिया होगा. स्टेप्स वाइज अगर आपने करना है तो सबसे पहला स्टेप क्या हो गया? स्टेप 1 इज हियर. which is unzipping. Then step 2 जो है वो exposure of the bases, obviously. Step 3 is here where bombardment. Step 4 is here, take it, stitching of the sugar phosphate bonds. And step 5 is here, which is the coiling. So you can explain the whole process in 5 steps. Step 1 is unzipping. Step 2 is exposing the base pairs. Step 3 is bombardment of nucleotides randomly from the nucleoplasm and bond formation, hydrogen bond formation. Step 4 is after completion of this bombardment, step 4 is the stitching of the sugar phosphate bonds here. And then step 5 is the recoiling of these 2 strands of DNA in a manner that each new DNA consists of one old strand and one new strand, or one parent strand and one daughter strand, and we call it semi-conservative replication. So now it's the time to guys, it's time to watch this same concept in form of animated diagram or animated video. Okay, it's a very good presentation and I'm really होपिंग कि आपको अगर कोई अनसर्टेनिटी इसमें रह भी गई है एग्जैक्टली तो यू विल कम टू रियलाइज एवरी बिट ऑफ द इंफॉर्मेशन जो आपको समझ में समझाई है मैंने इन दैट आफ्टर वॉचिंग दैट वीडियो. आई कैन राइट द स्टेप्स बट देयर इज नो नीड, डायग्राम इज प्रीटी क्लियर. ठीक है, बस जस्ट रिमेंबर द स्टेजेस: अनजिपिंग, exposure of the unpaired bases, random bombardment leads to the random bond formation between complementary bases, और जो bases आ रही हैं वो कहाँ से आ रही हैं? वो आ रही हैं न्यूक्लियोप्लाज्म से. And then finally the stitching of the sugar phosphate bonds between the strands, and then recoiling in a way that each DNA has one copy from parent DNA and one copy from daughter's DNA. So just now it's time to watch the video presentation. I'll see you guys in the next lecture. You guys watch the video presentation now.
DNA. We talk about it so much. It's the ultimate director for cells, and it codes for your traits. With a molecule that has a function like that, it makes sense that when you make another cell, like in cell division, you would also need to get more DNA into the new daughter cell. And that introduces our topic of DNA replication, which means making more DNA. First, let's talk about where and when. First, where? Well, if it's in a eukaryotic cell, it occurs in the nucleus. However, remember, not all cells have a nucleus, such as prokaryotic cells. They don't have a nucleus. Still, both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells do DNA replication, but there's some differences between the two that this clip doesn't go into. Next, when? When does this happen? Well, a cell is going to need to do this before it divides so that the new daughter cell can also get a copy of DNA. To get specific, in a eukaryotic cell, that's going to be before mitosis or meiosis in a time known as interphase. I think DNA replication would actually make a great video game. Still waiting for that to be invented. I'm going to introduce the key players in DNA replication so that you can get some background information. Now remember, these are just some major key players. There's a lot to this process. Many of the key players are enzymes. In biology, when you see something end in ASE, you might want to check, as it's very possible that it's an enzyme. Enzymes have the ability to speed up reactions and build up or break down the items that they act upon. So here we go with the key players. Helicase, the unzipping enzyme. If you recall that DNA has 2 strands, you could think of helicase unzipping the 2 strands of DNA. Helicase doesn't have a hard time doing that. When unzipping, it breaks through the hydrogen bonds that hold the DNA bases together. DNA polymerase, the builder. This enzyme replicates DNA molecules to actually build a new strand of DNA. Primase, the initializer. With as great as DNA polymerase is, DNA polymerase can't figure out where to get started without something called a primer. Primase makes the primer so that DNA polymerase can figure out where to go to start to work. You know what's kind of interesting about the primer it makes? The primer is actually made of RNA. Ligase, the gluer. It helps glue DNA fragments together. More about why you would need that later on. Now, don't feel overwhelmed. We'll go through the basics of this sequence in order. But remember, like all of our videos, we tend to give the big picture. There are always more details and exceptions to every biological process that we can't include in such a short video. DNA replication starts at a certain part called the origin. Usually this part is identified by certain DNA sequences. At the origin, helicase, the unzipping enzyme, comes in and unwinds the DNA. Here's the thing though, you don't want these strands to come back together. So SSB proteins, which stands for single-stranded binding proteins, bind to the DNA strands to keep them separated. And topoisomerase, I always have to slow down when I say that enzyme's name, keeps the DNA from supercoiling. Supercoiling might sound super, and it can be when you're trying to compact the DNA, but it's something that needs to be controlled during DNA replication. Supercoiling can involve an overwinding of the DNA, and you need the DNA strands to be separated for the next steps. Primase comes in and makes RNA primers on both strands. This is really important because otherwise DNA polymerase won't know where to start. In comes DNA polymerase. Okay, before we go on, remember how we said DNA has two strands? They're not identical, they complement each other. In our video that covers DNA structure, we talk about how the bases pair together with hydrogen bonds. The base adenine goes with the base thymine, and the base guanine goes with the base cytosine. These strands are also anti-parallel, so they don't go in the same direction. What do we mean by direction? Well, with DNA, we don't say north or south. We say DNA either goes 5' to 3' or 3' to 5'. What in the world does that mean? Well, the sugar of DNA is part of the backbone of DNA. It has carbons. The carbons on the sugar are numbered right after the oxygen in a clockwise direction. 1', 2', 3', 4', and 5'. The 5' carbon is actually outside of this ring structure. Now, you do the same thing for the other side, but keep in mind DNA strands are anti-parallel to each other. So let's count these, again clockwise after the oxygen. 1', 2', 3', 4', 5'. And the 5' is out of this ring. This strand on the left runs 5' to 3'. And the strand here on the right runs 3' to 5'. We'll explain why all that matters in a moment. So let's take that knowledge there and look at DNA replication here. In this image, I labeled the top original strand 3' to 5'. I labeled this bottom original strand 5' to 3'. That's the original DNA that is going to be replicated. DNA is unwinding here thanks to helicase. In this example, it will keep unwinding in this direction. Primase places primers. DNA polymerase is building the new strands. Now, the thing about DNA polymerase is, when it's building a new strand, it can only build the new strand in the 5' to 3' direction, meaning it adds new bases to the 3' end on the new strand. See how it's being built in the 5' to 3' direction? This one is called the leading strand. But take a look down here. So DNA polymerase once again is building a new strand in the 5' to 3' direction. But there's a bit of a problem here. See, as DNA unwinds, because DNA polymerase can only build the new strand in the 5' to 3' direction, it has to keep racing up here next to where this unwinding is happening. You can see why then this new strand is known as the lagging strand. On this lagging strand, primers have to keep being placed in order for DNA polymerase to build. These fragments that result are known as Okazaki fragments. Primers have to get replaced with DNA bases since the primers were made of RNA. Ligase, the gluing enzyme, as I like to nickname it, has to take care of the gaps between Okazaki fragments, sealing them together. At the end of replicating, you have two identical double helix DNA molecules from your one original double helix DNA molecule. We call it semi-conservative because the two copies each contain one old original strand and one newly made one. One last thing. Surely you've had to proofread your work before to catch errors? In this process, you don't want DNA polymerase to make errors. If it matches the wrong DNA bases, then you could have an incorrectly coded gene, which could ultimately end up in an incorrect protein.